Hey everyone, Andrew here. Once again, I'm here again to continue from my last video. This is part 2 of my update. So, I'm now getting into the business of flying taxis. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Flying taxis. So, basically, we've all experienced how shitty traffic is. You know, you're on the highway during rush hour and it's gonna take you forever to move. It takes you an hour, hour and a half, sometimes even 2 hours to go home. Or even if you're in the city, sometimes it takes you up to half an hour to get to where you need to be from point A to point B, and that really sucks. As a driver, it sucks even more. You're just stuck in traffic, you need to stay alert on the road, and you're getting frustrated. Sometimes a biker runs by you and you're like, yo, what the hell, pedestrian, gotta wait for the light. It sucks. It absolutely 100% sucks, and it's only gonna get worse with traffic. You know, like, more vehicles on the road is not gonna help. We're not gonna be able to just steamroll the entire city and redo the roads either. So there is actually one solution. You know, while Elon Musk is looking down, I'm gonna be looking up. Up to the sky, not too high, just building level, really, just above the power lines. That's ideally what I'm gunning for. But you know, imagine if you are able to avoid the risk points, the traffic, the lights, the pedestrians, the bikes, other cars, and you just have all that free space rather than the ones below, like over there. You have all this free space to fly in. It'd be safer, be hell of a lot faster, and with the company that I partnered with, Ehang, it'll be a hell of a lot safer because it's also autonomous. You're leaving the human error side out of it. 94% of all accidents on the road is due to human error. Well, we're gonna get rid of that. So the technology already exists, but it hasn't really been tested in the city because there's been no approval for cities just yet. My plan was to do it before everyone else was going to get to it. So 2 to 5 years is where people think the first city pilot is really going to start. Me, I'm trying to do it now, absolutely right now, and not some superficial bullshit. Oh yeah, you know, this is for the police to like test out and like, you know, hopefully implement in Dubai or some billionaires in Dubai. I'm going to do a real test. And I'm not really looking towards states right now because the FAA is way too hard to navigate through. Anything in the United States politically is really tough. So I'm going to look outwards, maybe Toronto, Israel, or could be Vietnam or India or something. So we'll see. Still working on it. And so right now, so basically, oh man, I gotta tell you this crazy story. So a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I decided to pursue this idea. And I'm like, okay, I found the company that's most advanced that I trust can get the job done, and that's a company called Ehang. So what I did was I rented a car, went to Redwood City, went to their old office that we found online, and they moved out. You know, people would typically give up there, but I didn't give up, continued on. So, continuing on with that, I spoke to all the other companies in that office building, the secretaries, the employees, and asked them, hey, what happened to Ehang? And, you know, I heard some stories like, oh, they got a grant and went to Las Vegas, or, oh, they went to China. All of them are true. The Las Vegas thing didn't work out. And then one of them said, you should talk to the lunch lady next door, or the Nala, you know, who owns the cafeteria next door. She might know something. So I went to the cafe next door, and and after 30 minutes, she finally remembered one of the guy's names. His name is Colby. He helped her set up her store on Yelp, and she's like, yeah, he was a really nice guy. You should talk to him. So on that spot, I googled his name. I found his address. I saw that he owns his own aerial cinematography company now, there in Redwood City. So I drove to what I thought was a business address, saw his home address. I arrived there at 3 p.m. I like literally stood in front of his porch for for 2 hours waiting for him to get home, and then I finally found his email and his phone number while I was waiting. So I was like texting him and calling him, emailing him, and he finally responded. He actually gave me a call. I told him the situation. He laughed, and he said he'd help me out. So he asked, do you have a site? I said no. He said, make your website. So then that Tuesday, the following next day, I built the site. Best site I've ever made in my life. And he thought it looked great. Started texting Derek and Mr. Hugh, the co-founders, until 4 a.m. that night. And he sent me a screenshot, which I saw in the morning, of Derek saying they'd be interested in partnering or leasing me a drone. Fantastic. So that next day, which was now Wednesday, I rented a car again, drove all the way down there, got them lunch, and it was him and his co-founder for the current company. His name is Brandon. Got them lunch, talked about it. Brandon was a little bit of a Debbie Downer, but anyways, yeah, so we sketched out a plan of how to market it. So like really I wanted to do the world's first commercial air taxi flight. Just get the plane down to like Toronto or something, one flight, big PR blitz to open, with the intention of opening up opportunities for both investment and city pilots. And then it was all set and gravy, and before I left, we had a plan that Kobe was gonna talk to Derek again and set up a call. Then I got a call from Kobe at 7 p.m. and that night, and he said that it was him and Brandon on the line, and I couldn't tell who was who, but anyways, both of them wanted to change the marketing strategy from the original taxi flight idea to experiential marketing, which is basically just like in a closed environment, have people go into the drone, make it go up and down, that's it. And he said this will guarantee the partnership for sure. And I said that doesn't make sense, because I'm not there to promote Ehang's drone and pay for it, to like promote it, pay for it by leasing it out, shipping it all the way down to halfway across the world and stuff like that. That doesn't make sense. I'm not there to promote their drone, I'm there to promote our service. We just stick to the current idea. And then I think it was Brandon. The discussion got a little bit heated. I understand their incentives because they own a marketing company, but I mean, come on, like you guys were also helping me out. So, and like that turned into more of a business transaction, and then it turned into like a little bit of an argument. And like, Brandon asked me, are you willing to go to jail for it? And I said, yeah, of course I am. Like, I'm willing to sign liability if anyone gets hurt. I'll take responsibility. And like, I'm also willing to make myself take the punishment or consequences rather than Ehang taking that. Whatever I need to do, like I'll do it, because I believe in it, and of course I wouldn't go into something that I wouldn't feel safe to ride it myself. Of course I'm gonna ride it. Then I got a text message from Kobe 2 hours later saying that like they don't think I care about people's safety. They think I only care about my personal timeline. Also said that they also said that he also said that I was willing to go to jail with an exclamation mark, and he basically thought it was crazy, and that I didn't give a shit about people's safety. Of course I do. Anyway, so he said he didn't want to work with me anymore. That put me in a tough position. I was thinking about giving up. This is really that company or nothing. But then finally Derek responded from an email introduction that I got from my friend Nick in The Alchemist, current cohort. So that was amazing to have that connection. He's the only connection I had to him. So yeah, he responded. He put me in touch with the sales manager, Megan, and now I'm going to fly over there tomorrow. Now, just to be clear, I was thinking of also abandoning the idea because the biggest issue I had. Now, I believe I can hustle to get that partnership done, to get a partnership not only with Ehang but also for the city done. Like, I will have the drones, I will have a city partnership. The only thing I got hung up on was the technology, because I basically found out that the batteries only last 20 minutes. Now, batteries have not really been innovated on and commercialized you know, both of those things for decades. And even though the technology exists now with graphene batteries, you know, that was discovered like what, a decade ago? It's gonna probably take another decade or two before it really comes out, like a true supercapacitor competitor that can charge very quickly and hold a shit ton of storage. I don't believe in the progress of startups and everything else that batteries are really gonna, you know, change, and that's gonna solve my issue. So I was really on the verge of giving up, but yesterday I went on an Alchemist hike with Ravi Balani, the founder and managing director of The Alchemist. You know, this is basically just a couple of days after last week, where I told Danielle, my girls coach, that I was gonna give up the super idea, or that I am giving it up. And you know, having talked to Jazzy Go and like telling her about this, but Ravi said you could just switch out the batteries. That made total sense. You could just switch out the batteries. You know, I'm gonna have someone at each of the landing spots, but yeah, that works. So I'll just do that. So I'm gonna go over to China. Megan's writing me an invitation letter, promised to have it to me by tonight. I'm gonna go to Vancouver to renew my visa by Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm gonna fly over to Vancouver, get that done, stay at my brother's place, and then I'm gonna fly out, hopefully by the weekend, to China in Guangzhou, get the partnership, and test the drone, see where the technology really is, making sure it really is safe for a city flight pilot, and then I'm gonna do it. Ravi said I need to really just get de-risk the 3 biggest risk points for him. One, which is a city pilot. Second is the technology there. And third, God, I can't remember what the third is. Third is team, you know, is this the right team? I think that's what it was. You know, that's really it. So, we'll see where this goes, you know, because I didn't want to waste too much time on it. I was getting a little bit nervous, even considering applying for jobs. Sorry, I just finished my resume. But you know, he said, look, this is really ambitious. This can turn into a $10 to $100 billion business. And he really thought I should do it. And you know, where I lost hope, that got me hopeful again, and you know, it got me thinking, look, I either go big or go home. Like, that's really it. I gotta do my best. I'm here in this program, you know, in the best environment, and the best opportunity to do it is now. It's now or never. So I'm gonna just hustle my ass off and try to get it done. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. So, and I know I haven't worked out the unit economics, and honestly I need more information of the drones and of the partnership and of the city partnership and everything else to like figure out what that is. But again, I think it's very obvious to me that like this thing can scale pretty quickly. And I've talked to a shit ton of people, and they all said they would use it. It's not a society problem, it's more of a government problem and potentially technology problem. So we'll just figure that out. Yeah, so talk to you later, everyone. Have a good one. Peace.